back with another reaction, bringing Bob Dylan back to the stage with the song "Hard Rains Are Gonna Fall." Never heard this by Bob Dylan. This song came out in the summer of, or written in the summer of 1962. Came out in 1963 in an album called Free Willy. Um, yeah, we're about to see what this song's about. So let's get it.
Oh, where have you been, my blue-eyed son? And where have you been, my darling young one? I've stumbled on the side of 12 misty mountains. I've walked and I crawled on 6 crooked highways. I've stepped in the middle of 7 sad forests. I've been out in front of a dozen dead oceans. I've been 10,000 miles in the mouth of a graveyard. And it's a hard rain they're gonna fall. Oh, what did you see, my blue-eyed son? And what did you see, my darling young one? I saw a newborn baby with wild wolves all around it. I saw a highway of diamonds with nobody on it. I saw a black branch with blood that kept dripping. I saw a room full of men with their hammers a-bleeding. I saw a white ladder all covered with water. I saw 10,000 talkers whose tongues were all broken. I saw guns and sharp swords in the hands of young children. And it's a hard rain they're gonna fall. Oh, what did you hear, my blue-eyed son? And what did you hear, my darling young one? I heard the sound of a thunder that roared out a warning. I heard the roar of a wave that could drown the whole world. I heard 100 drummers whose hands were ablazing. I heard 10,000 whispering and nobody listening. I heard one person starve, I heard many people laughing. I heard the song of a poet who died in the gutter. I heard the sound of a clown who cried in the alley. And it's a hard rains are gonna fall. Oh, what did you meet, my blue-eyed son? And who did you meet, my darling young one? I met a young child beside a dead pony. I met a white man who walked a black dog. I met a young woman whose body was burning. I met a young girl, she gave me a rainbow. I met one man who was wounded in love. I met another man who was wounded in hatred, and it's a hard, it's a hard, it's a hard, it's a hard, it's a hard rains are gonna fall. And what'll you do now, my blue-eyed son? And what'll you do now, my darling young one? I'm a-going back out for the rain starts a-falling. I'll walk to the depths of the deepest dark forest, where the people are many and their hands are all empty, where the pellets of poison are flooding their waters, where the home in the valley meets the damp, dirty prison, and the executioner's face is always well hidden, where hunger is ugly, where the souls are forgotten, where black is the color, where none is the number. And I'll tell it and speak it and think it and breathe it, and reflect from the mountains so all souls can see it. And I'll stand on the ocean until I start sinking, but I'll know my song well before I start singing. And it's a hard, it's a hard, it's a hard, and it's a hard, it's a hard rains are gonna fall.
And that was Bob Dylan with Hard Rain Gonna Fall. Yeah, this song was an awesome song. Beautifully put together poem, creatively put together. His social awareness is like on 1,000. You know what I mean? I wonder if he won the Nobel Peace Prize for literature for this song. I have to look that up. But if he did, well deserved. Yeah, I just loved every lyric to this song. It's a lot to unpack in this song, but I like this part though. Oh, where have you been, my blue-eyed son? And where have you been, my darling young one? I've stumbled on the side of 12 misty mountains. I've walked and I've crawled on 6 crooked highways. I've stepped in the middle of 7 sad forests. I've been out in front of a dozen dead oceans. I've been 10,000 miles in the mouth of a graveyard, and it's hard. It's hard. It's hard, and it's hard. It's hard. Rains are gonna fall. Yeah, awesome. It's just like reading a poem of a poem book or writing a poem. It's poems with instruments behind it. And even in that poem, it's a lot to unpack with it. But in that poem, it's a lot of hardship happening. But I read that what inspired him to write this song was the Cuban Missile Crisis. And just for that to inspire me, see what type of human being that is. But anybody that got any comments, put in the comment box, like, subscribe, share, donate.